Let's get to the details of those stories now. At least 120 lives. That's how many people were killed when floods and fire combined forces on a cold, rainy Tuesday night in Accra's Kwame Nkrumah Circle. It had been raining at the time for a few hours before fire from a oil filling station spread on the water, killing many and injuring several others in the busy area at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle. It's been almost 3 years since that deadly incident. So, as the rain sets in, what preparations have been put in place to prevent a repeat of floods experienced in the capital lately? In the studio, we'll have officials of NADMO. We'll also be joined on the line by the Works and Housing Minister. But before that, let's take you to the various communities to see how residents there are preparing for the rains. Maxwell Agbagba is our man on this beat.
Experts say it was a Black Wednesday that wasn't supposed to be. They contend that the Odo drain was choked with plastics and materials. They argue that continuation of this drain would have averted the disaster. On that fateful day, this rain overflowed 8 banks that resulted in the flooding of the community and a subsequent explosion.
Actually, it was a Wednesday, and normally Adventists worldwide, we have midweek service on Wednesday. So on that fateful Wednesday, I came here early, and the service starts at 7 to 8. So after service, we were here chit-chat, and it started service. So we wanted the rain to subside before we leave. But unfortunately, the rain didn't subside, and the whole place flooded, and then we were all caught up here. So we left here around 4 a.m. Yeah. In actual fact, we were all in the rain, like in the flood. And someone of my height, the water was almost at this side of my, this level of my body. Yes. Yeah, we were still in the water. You know, because of the way the water was flowing, it was quite dangerous if we step out of the gates. Because we were scared that stepping out of the gates, the water might wash us away. So we had to close all the gates, and then we were inside. We had to stand on tables, we had to pack plastic chairs and stand on it so as to give us a little height. And those who were not as tall as I am, we had to pack things for them to stand on it so that we can save them. Let's take today for instance. I left the house coming when it started drizzling. So all that came, hey Abna, we're going to cycle again, and it has started raining. So it put some sort of fear in me personally. But we will still have to come around and do whatever we have to do.
For residents who live here in this city and for those who come here to do business, that episode continues to play in their minds. One of them is Stanis Loy. He has been doing business here for many years now, but he tells me anytime the clouds gather, he has to close because he fears this place would get flooded again. Stanis, how are you doing? Great.
I was here and the rain started. We are here, and nobody think it will be very heavy. We are all here. But suddenly we know that the Odona gutter just full up. Then we see water flowing everywhere. Then we decided to close early. So when we were coming at that particular police station, then my man came, let's dodge the water here small. And suddenly, I remember my father used to tell me, if rain is falling, don't put yourself in between plenty people. Maybe we were in Africa, someone go consult thunder, and the thief is among you. He spread, someone will touch you. So that might come, I said, Yao, let's go. And we are going. He said, what about your lotto machine? I said, no, every lotto machine is spoiled, and the government said, is having downfall. Let's go. So the other time we want to come, then we see the rain block the overpass, it blocked everywhere. So we climb the new overhead to watch what is going on. And you see the fire and the water are battling together. Blue. The fire is blue, passing through the water like everywhere. That's why now, if you see rain like that, you know, then your heart, because you remember that day. You remember that day.
So
recently, I have to run away, save my life. Well, I can't explain the previous one. Because maybe I can say the amount of death where they declare is not like that. It's more than that. After the rain, if you pass Cuba land and cheese, you see dead person on the road, like how they spread maize. How they spread maize. I'm telling you, plenty. Miss. Some people say we won't recognize them because we can't. Some of our customers who used to of our side, the people, only one person, they 1, 2, 3, 4, like 7 die.
They sell carpet where?
7 die. They sell carpet at the top here. The carpet boys. Plenty. Only one person, like the same father, the same mother. They were 9. Oh, that day is terrible. Since up to now, I fear catch us. Anytime you see them coming more and more, then your heart, hey, it's going to happen again. No. So anytime you start for, you see plenty people used to advise them, my children, them my fellow, hey, if you are going, rain is coming, don't pass circle, don't pass circle. And that time, what we saw, it's not the rain, the downpour. After that downpour, there's some main pipe here, which is poor. That one bring the thing. After the fire here, the heavy rain will pass the back with the small, the main pipe here. That one bring the water more.
After the rain subsided, photos of a dead woman holding on tight to her daughter went viral. Well, that woman lives here in this community. I'm on my way to meet one Dinah Amankwa. She stays in the same house as the deceased. She's going to tell us exactly what happened on that day.
The woman who died used to live here with her sister. She is called Sister Mary. They are from Suhum. When it started raining, we sought refuge at the story building. After the floods, some people from the market came to look for her. That was when we realized she died in the floods. Last Tuesday it rained. It rained the following week too. I was really scared. The other time I was going to sell oranges, but I couldn't go because it was about to rain. Although we have dredged the outdoor drain, anytime it's about to rain, we become afraid.
After the disaster, city authorities said never again will Accra or any parts of Ghana experience that deadly disaster. But as the rain sets in, it remains to be seen whether that will be the case. Reporting for JoyNews, Maxwell Agbagba.
All right, let's have a very quick conversation on this. I have in the studio here Bright Atama. He's the acting director of the Hydrometeorological Disasters Department with NADMO. We're hoping that the Works and Housing Minister Samuel Atachian will also join us over the telephone line now. But let's have this quick conversation. Sir, thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.
Let me find out from you what the plan is. What is the plan to deal or to ensure that going into the rainy season, the people who live in flood-prone areas are protected?
Yeah, thank you. First of all, what we do this year was to send wireless message to the regional ministers, district chief executives, because they are the chairpersons of the regional disaster management committee, and then the district disaster management committee. So with the wireless message, you have to activate the contingency plan in their various regions and the districts and translate it to the zones. They have to embark on public education.
Please go ahead.
They have to embark on public educations in the flood-prone community so that when flood comes, people might not be affected. So apart from that one, we are also doing a community-based sensitization.
Okay. So first of all, you've sent wireless message. What is that wireless message you say? I mean, what does it mean? So
it contains information that we want the regional people and the district people to do.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you've done an assessment of the flood-prone areas, and you have the information there. So you've sent it to the various ministers and the chief executive
already
officers.
identified those flood-prone areas.
Okay.
So the wireless message is to just activate or to motivate them to go to the community to carry out sensitization.
Okay, so you, as we speak, you've already informed the regional ministers, and you've also informed the districts and MMDCEs as well.
In the zones.
To do what? To
one,
sensitize the public.
begin sensitization activities on floods, rainstorm, and windstorm, and also to educate. Also to go down the community where people are living, those along the drains, the rivers body. If they can also move to the higher ground, or those who will be doing farming is to start farming now so that they can harvest before the flood comes.
So the wireless message to the district chief MMDCEs and to the ministers and the regional ministers, and then you're asking that they move people, they advise the people to move to higher grounds. That's two. And then what else? Also
identify various safe havens in the various districts, so that in times of floods, people can move to those areas.
So these are the three key things that you have done, or there are more?
It's a whole lot. So it contains.
Okay, so each of them contains a lot of interventions.
Yes,
you say.
But already they have the contingency plan in their various regions and districts. Okay. So this one just activates what they're supposed to, and it's already spelled out in the contingency plans. Okay.
First, let's look at the weather terrain. So far, some things have changed. When you expect the rains to come, sometimes it doesn't come.
Yeah.
When you don't expect the rains, that's where it rains. There are times that it rains here in Kokomlemne and it doesn't rain in Spintex. So there's obviously some changes in the way the climate behaves as we speak. What has your department done to detect these changes, and how are you looking forward to being able to deal with it when you're not expecting the rain and it comes, etc.?
Actually, we depend heavily on GMET, Ghana Meteorological Agency, for weather updates.
Okay.
Now, with the climate change issues, we know that, as we said, we are not expecting rain this January, but it comes. So what we do, that we will continue to do the sensitization activities in the communities, so that at least if it comes, they can cope up with the floods.
You mentioned the Meteorological Agency. The Meteorological Agency, I mean, they've been doing this for many years now. Recently, they made some predictions. There are times that they make predictions, and you know, it swears to everybody. They make predictions, it doesn't come through. Sometimes they don't even make the predictions at all. Sometimes the information is not relayed properly, etc. How are you confident that we can rely on your organization, which is of course supposed to help in situations of disasters, can reliably follow the predictions that the Meteorological Agency is giving you?
I wouldn't blame GMET for that, because changes takes place in the atmosphere. Once they spot the clouds, within a second there could be a change of direction of the wind, and the rain-bearing cloud can move to different areas. But that, apart from that, even though they predict that some of that time it doesn't come, we still go on with our sensitization activities. Like this morning, it was predicted that the rain is going to hit Accra between 6:15 and 8 a.m. It came back, it was very a drizzle. Yeah.
Well, let's get a bit more specific. Which flood-prone areas have you identified besides the ones that we know already? Are there any new flood-prone areas that you've identified so far?
Those information will be at the district level and the zonal level. The new ones that are coming up, but the old one, we have them. Yeah.
When you found out these, how well have you communicated to them? Even though you triggered you said the wire message, how well do you think that a sensitization has reached these flood-prone areas? Because sometimes you still see the same people at the same places where it has flooded. They lost their things, but you still see them the next day it rains.
That's human nature. We done a lot. I personally involved in moving some of the communities. After educating them, at times, 2009, you have to use force to carry the people away. They are waiting for the water, the flood to come before they finally move. So it's our attitude.
In that case, how would you rate your work so far? Sensitizing people whose attitude haven't changed. How would you rate the work of your department in NADMO so far in terms of sensitization and reducing the impact of flood in these flood-prone areas?
Yeah, even though I said that it's the attitude, but majority listen to our sensitization activities, and per rate, I would say 70–75% we are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Finally, what's the reading you've made of the weather this year? How is it going to be like? Do you have any idea?
Yeah, we contacted DMATs and we're told that they are still working on the seasonal forecast. So I cannot tell you exactly how the outlook of the weather for this year.
Okay. All right, let's say very big thanks to you. Unfortunately, we're unable to raise the Minister for Works and Housing, Mr. Atachi, and we understand he says he's unable to speak at the moment. But I've been speaking to Bright Atama. He's the Acting Director of the Hydrometeorological Department with NADMO. Even before we move away from there, you do know how to keep yourself safe, right? You need to keep yourself safe, even as we expect the rains to come through.